Some things transpired, and one day he wanted to have a conversation with me, and it caught me off guard. He's like, "Can I talk to you, Dad?" "Yeah, what's up?" "I have something I want to tell you." "Okay, what's up?" "It's important." "Okay." "It's serious." "Can you please sit down?" "How far along is she?" "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't be scaring me, dude." "What's about us?" "Okay. What's up?" He tells me, "Can you please stop making fun of me?" And when he said it, I felt it because I knew how hard it was for him to bring that up. And I said, "How long have you felt this way?" "My whole life." "Have you ever tried to bring this up in the past?" "Yeah." "What did I say?" "You told me to put on deodorant." It worked. Look, Frankie, I didn't know how to be a dad, okay? It was one of those things where I just knew there were certain things I didn't want to do. I knew that I never wanted to yell at you, and I knew for a fact that I never wanted to hit you. So I did the best thing I could do with what I knew how to do. I made fun of you. That's called shaming. This year, look, if you don't want me to do any more stories or jokes or just make fun, I understand. It's one of those things where I didn't want to make him feel bad, and I don't want to feel bad making him. You know what I mean? So I said, look, I'm gonna let the audience know that we spoke, and so that they understand why moving forward in the future there will be no more stories about Frankie. Why is that important? Because if I don't explain why I stopped talking about you, they're gonna think you died. I don't want them to think you died either. So gave him a big hug, reminded him how much I love him, because I love him very much, and I hope he knows that. I think that a lot of the issues and frustrations we've had for a while now have a lot to do with the fact that I am no longer with his mom. I don't want you guys to think that all of a sudden I'm going to start doing jokes about her. I'm not. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about the woman I was with for almost 14 years. Okay? Nothing bad, nothing negative, nothing derogatory, nothing short of awesome. Nothing short of good vibes. Okay? I have nothing bad to say about her. And not just because I signed a piece of paper that said I wouldn't say anything bad, but because at the end of the day, that is still my son's mom, and I need to make sure. Man, I've had the weirdest year, man. I started off this year all messed up, man. I started it off in the hospital. Yeah, Pikachu la cagó. I messed up. I'll tell you what happened. I was at the house and I was eating some tacos and they were delicious. And all of a sudden I got a pain in my side. It was one of those pains that not even a good pedo can get rid of. You know what I'm talking about, bro? You ever get one of those pains at the house, you're eating, oh, it hurt, me duele. And your wife or girlfriend tells you, pues let it go. Dale gas, chingale, dale. And you do, and it's like CPR, huh? Well, try as I did, it didn't work. I wound up in the emergency room, and if you guys do whatever you can to stay out of the hospital, because it was scary. It was the first thing they did to me was they stripped me of all my clothes, and not in a sexy way either. It wasn't like, "Are you ready for Pikachu?" Cochina, mírala. I wish it would have been like that. I might have liked it a little bit, No, man, you know what they do to you in the hospital? They pull out these little industrial scissors that cut through anything, right? And they started on the left foot and they finished on the right. And they cut all the way up and cut all the way down and they pulled everything off at the same time. And Pikachu! Se me salió el Pokemon! And it was cold, too. Ooh. Pikachu! Ooh. So then they take all my clothes away from me and they replace them with this nasty lime green hospital gown. You know, the kind where they tie it in the back and your butt is still showing, right? It was one of those. So I'm standing and I turn around and I see myself in the mirror. And I realize at that very moment, I do not look like a Pikachu. With all that green on, I look like goddamn Shrek. And it wasn't me who gave me the nickname, it was the nurses. I could hear them too. Mira, Marta, ese gordito se parece Shrek. I'm serious, all he needs are the little antenitas and the donkey, that's it. So they wheel me into the room, right? I'm laying down in the bed finally, and the doctor comes in. And I don't know what it is about doctors. They're just always happy to see you. Ah, Mr. Iglesias, how are you? I can't fart. Tengo un pedo atorado. Mr. Iglesias, please, do me a favor. Roll over on your side. I'll be right back. You know, so he goes over to the wall and he gets these little gloves and he puts them on and he comes over to me and he puts his hand right here and he goes, does that hurt? No. Does that hurt? And then this doctor turned into a magician. I swear to God he did, because his hand disappeared. And it reappeared somewhere way back here. I'm not going to tell you what he did, but you know what he did. El cabrón me hizo Pokemon. And then he has the nerve to tell me, Mr. Iglesias, I found the problem. You seem to be suffering internally. You have a blockage in your passage system. And I'm thinking, pues, take out your finger. I did manage to stay busy during the pandemic. I did a movie from my living room. Yeah, and it wasn't even on Pornhub. The movie already came out in theaters. It's called Space Jam. It's the movie with LeBron. Los Angeles, you are looking at the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you. I found it ironic that they hired the slowest Mexican to play the fastest. You know? And 2 weeks after I get this part, I come to find out that they're trying to cancel Speedy Gonzalez. I'm sure some of you heard that they came after two cartoons. They came after Pepe Le Pew and Speedy. Now, Pepe, I understand. He's a little touchy. You know, but he disguises it with the man. But Speedy Gonzalez, what's his crime? He's Mexican and he's fast. That is not a crime. In Montebello, that's called job security. So I said, I cannot let them hurt Speedy. You know, I can't let them cancel him. So I came to his defense. Plus, it was my only job. I went to the only place I felt I could go to protect him. I went on Twitter. And Twitter's a scary place. It is. You only go there to fight, to get into it, to prove a point. And so a friend of mine said, if you want to get some attention, use a hashtag. And so I did. And I wrote a tweet that said, hey, hashtag cancel culture. My name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. You cannot cancel or catch me. And I posted it. I had no idea that when you go on Twitter looking for problems, you will find them. Oh yeah, every major news outlet picked up my tweet and used it in a story about cancel culture. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. If I would have known that, I would have used spell check. Because my family called. Eres pendejo, qué chingados, ¿qué te pasa? No escribe bien. Oh my God. Even Fox News did a story with my tweet. Fox News. You know how I know? My bus driver Dave called me. Oh, he was thrilled. He was like, Fluffy, God damn it, I've never been prouder.
You made it, baby. You're on Fox News.
I said, Dave, shut up. You're stupid. He's like,
America.
Even Warner Brothers Pictures reached out to say thank you. And before I know it, I was on a Zoom call. And I know a lot of us had to get used to Zoom. And it's kind of convenient, right? All they see is this. So to entertain myself, every time I took a Zoom call, I was full Winnie the Pooh. And if you're not laughing right now, you better ask someone who is, because there is no coming back from full Winnie the Pooh. I was leaving baby powder all over the house. It looked like an episode of Narcos. So I get on this Zoom call with the director, writer, and producer of Space Jam. And they're being super nice, super supportive, super cool. They're like, Gabriel, thank you so much for lending your voice talents to our film. We really, really appreciate you being part of this. If you have any questions or concerns, let us know. So, well, thank you. We have a question for you. I said, okay. How do you feel about the voice of Speedy Gonzalez? I said, well, what do you mean? Well, you know, some people find him to be a little stereotypical. What are your thoughts? I said, well, you have not met my family. I cannot speak for all brown people, but I can tell you that me personally, in my house growing up, Speedy Gonzalez was not viewed in a negative way. As a matter of fact, he was the only form of representation we had growing up. It was him and the little bumblebee on The Simpsons. Gabriel, we were thinking that perhaps you would like to lend your real speaking voice to the character, maybe modernize him a little, you know, bring him up to speed. I said, well, you know, with all due respect, I appreciate the fact that you would give me the power to change the sound of such an iconic character. But at the end of the day, when people see the movie, I don't want them to think of me. I want them to think of Speedy Gonzalez. So I said, please keep his voice original. And then he asked the question, well, do you think you can do the voice? How did I get the part? Now remember, I never auditioned for Speedy Gonzalez. They just called me, and I assumed that they knew that I did voices for a living and that I could pull this off. So I says, what made you choose me if you didn't know whether or not I could do the... Oh. You needed a big brown shield in case shit happened, huh? And then all three people on the phone call were like... I said, well, don't worry, because with me, you get a twofer. You get an actual Mexican, and you get someone that can nail the voice. So, oh yeah. That's right. So before I know it, this sound person, the guy who does recordings over at Warner Brothers, gets on the call. The only thing I know about this guy is that he's loud. Okay, he gets on the call, he's like,
Gabriel Iglesias, how are you?
Wow. How's it going?
My name is Steven. I'm the sound coordinator here at Warner Brothers Pictures. So listen, buddy, here's what's going to happen. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. And as soon as I hit record, I just need for you to start talking like Speedy Gonzalez. We're going to get the flow, the tempo, the timing. And as soon as we got it dialed in, we're going to make a movie. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, this is Gabriel Iglesias for Space Jam, A New Legacy. Speedy Gonzalez, take one. Gabriel, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Sounds good. All right, here we go. And go.
All right, here we go.
Hola amigos, I am Speedy González de Pases Mouse en all México. ¡Arriba! ¡Epa, pándale!
The director, writer, and producer, all three were like, that was perfect. I said, I know, I've been Mexican a long time. Houston, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't know how this is going to go over, but I'm going to say it. I would be an amazing gay partner. I would, all the way up until that one part, but even then. Have you ever driven a Lexus? Those are nice. Sometimes you gotta take one for your own team. I'm just saying. Now, in all seriousness, not to be funny, not to be disrespectful, let me tell you the reason why I would be an amazing gay partner. The level of communication between two men is so high, I might actually get an answer. There might be clarity and understanding. I might hear a yes, I might hear a no. Do you know how many relationships I have been in where I still don't know the outcome to certain conversations? Very simple yes or no questions. That's what I would do. Something as simple as, baby, you hungry? Well, I haven't eaten yet, so I probably should eat something, but I'm not feeling it right now. But if I don't eat right now, you know how I'm gonna get later. So I guess it's probably a good idea if I start eating right now. But it really depends on the options. What do you think? Ah! What about this one? Baby, where would you like to eat? You hear all the guys? Yeah. Finally! I'm not alone! Everybody's pointing at somebody right now. Guys, am I right? This has to be, you would think that this is the safest question in the world to ask, but it's not. Well, just pick something. You know me, I'm go with the flow. Whatever you decide is okay with me. You know me already, just pick something. All right, we're going to Burger King. I don't like Burger King. Why do we gotta go to Burger King? Burger King gives me chorro. Chorro is Mexican diarrhea. How about this one? How do you feel? Really? Really? You want to know how I feel? Well, you know, maybe if you'd pay attention from time to time, you might know how I feel. You might not need to have to ask me such a question because you would already know exactly how I feel. The amount of time and energy I've exhausted to let you know how I feel, and you have the nerve to ask me, how do you feel? Now imagine the exact same conversation between me and Mr. Lexus. Do you know how efficient that conversation would be? Hey, bro, you hungry? Thought you'd never ask. What do you want to eat? Whatever you want to eat. We're going to Burger King. I love Whoppers. Me too. We go to Burger King and we tear it up. We get back home and I ask him, hey, how do you feel? Horny. Me too. How do you want to do this? Heads or tails? It would be efficient.
So moving forward, it's been over a year now, and the same question has been asked over and over again. So what now? Are you gonna, start over? You're gonna get back up on that horse? You're gonna get a girlfriend? You're gonna get a wife, start a new family? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I got dogs. I'm good right now. I know what it's like to be single for a long time, and I know what it's like to be in a relationship for a long time. And there's pros and cons to both. I can only speak for the guys on this one. Some guys. Guys, you ever been single so long you start to question whether or not it's by choice? And then you find yourself saying things like, guess I'll be single forever, just nobody wants me, nobody wants me, nobody wants me. Some of you are laughing because you have that friend. A lot of you are quiet because that's you right now. And then you notice how sometimes all it takes are just a couple of minor changes, a couple of minor adjustments to get back in the game. Like maybe you start cutting your hair different, maybe you start dressing better, Maybe you start, I don't know, showering and shit. Someone takes notice and decides to give you a chance, and now you're back in the game. And there's no greater feeling in the world than that of being in a brand new relationship, because you're just so happy. You're so happy. You're the most optimistic person in the world. Nothing can mess your day up when it's brand new. You can miss your bus on the way to work. There'll be another. You could get fired. Guess it wasn't meant to be. You are so freaking happy. And then you start to reflect on your life before the relationship. And you remember how you would look at your phone and it would never ring. You know, you thought it was broken because it wouldn't ring. There's no text messages. You look at your DMs, nothing. But the minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, your phone, text message, ding, your social media, now you got numbers in there. People in the street are talking to you, and then you say this out loud: where were all these people at when I was single? Answer: they were there the whole time. The difference is you were not this happy. I found out that happiness is one of the most attractive things in the world. Who doesn't want to be around someone who's positive? You know? Well, unless you got COVID. Never mind. Nice, pleasant, a joy to be around. Good energy. You know who really notices just how happy you are, guys, when it's that brand new relationship? Other women. Not your woman. Other women. They can't help but notice how happy you are. They stare at you and they point. Look at him. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that. Guys, you are now blood in the water and the sharks are out. And if you've never been hunted before, it is one of the scariest things in the world. Because usually you don't know you're being hunted until it's too late. You're over there minding your business, you're in your relationship, you're trying to make it work, and here they come. Before you know it, it's too late. She's got a hold of you, and she has you pinned down in the back seat of a car. And she's hitting you. She's hitting you with a baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark. You will never look at that song the same way again. You're welcome.
I'm a dork too. I don't know how to talk to women. And this guy always comes, hello. Girls go crazy. And ladies, I'm gonna tell you right now, if a pretty man is your thing, if a gorgeous GQ guy is what you want, then by all means, go for it. But I'm gonna let you know right now, in the long run, a pretty man is gonna do nothing but lie to you, cheat on you, and break your heart. That's why, ladies, you need to start giving guys like me a chance. That's right, because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the worst thing I'll ever do is have dinner without you. And everybody, look at some of the girls. Everybody gives me advice too on the best way to meet that certain someone. You know, like my sister Emily, she always tells me the best way to meet someone is to go on the internet. She goes, go online, you'll meet someone. I'm like, I thought it'd be a good idea because my sister, she's cool people. She goes to school, she goes to church, she's nice. But I gotta tell you guys something, she's a freak. You know, you meet her in person, she's all sweet and innocent. Oh, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Bye. But you catch her online at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, man, she's like, I'm licking and sucking your toes. Ooh, do you like it? Now see, that's scary. It is, because I had no idea she was online. I was like, yeah, I like it. I was like, what's up? I I see my sister the next day. She's like, I met someone. I said, me too. Check it out. I got some sandals. What's up? But you guys have to be careful. If you're going to meet people on the internet, be careful. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't. I went on a blind date with a girl who was half Sasquatch, half Chupacabra. Yes, some of the white people, Chupa what? It's like Bigfoot, only smaller. Like cousins, you know? You gotta be careful, because they'll throw these little mysterious words out there to kind of like, get you excited. Like this one girl, she described herself as bubbly, and I hear bubbly and I was thinking, oh my God, wow, really? Shut up, wow, really? Man, and instead what I got was and I'm standing there. You have to be careful. And I said, you know what? Okay, maybe it's my bad luck. It couldn't possibly happen to me 3 times, right? So I gave it another shot. I went on another blind date with a girl who said she was a sexy Latina. I was excited. What's up? I get to her house, you guys. She was not Latina. Oh, no. She was black. Now, I didn't have a problem with her being black, but she specifically wrote out, I'm Latina. So I called her on it, right? I said, hey, girl, before we go any further, didn't you say that you were Latina? You know what she told me? She got mad. She was like, boo, I am Latina. Shoot, that's my name.
And while I'm doing this, I get the most random phone call I have ever gotten. My publicist calls me up and she's like, Gabe, Snoop Dogg is looking for you. Excuse me? Snoop Dogg, I know who Snoop Dogg is, but what do you mean he's looking for me? Well, is he looking for me or is he looking for me? He's a fan and he wants to interview you. Oh, cool. Sounds good. What is it? I think it's some type of podcast. I'm in. Can I bring Frankie? Absolutely. Cool. So I hang up the phone. I'm excited. I want to tell my son. I'm like, Frankie, I'm walking towards your room. I'll be at your door in 3, 2, 1. Hey, all right, you're dressed. Good. Come on, let's go. Where are we going? Watch. We get in the car. And now we're off on this adventure to go do an interview with Snoop Dogg. You guys, let me tell you something. We get to the neighborhood and we're lost. The GPS says we're there, but we're lost. We're looking for a house and there's no house, just a big building. And so I'm like, this doesn't look like a podcast, really? So I pull up to the security gate. Tap the button on the wall. Security desk, can I help you? Hey, security desk, my name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I think I'm here to do an interview with Snoop Dogg. Okay, one moment. Oh, okay, this is it. Good. I'm so excited. Snoop Dogg? This is gonna be cool, right? Sir? Yes. Yes, hi. There is no Gilbert Ignatius on file. What? Could there be another name? Another name? I don't know. Fluffy, maybe? And the gate starts to open. I'm like, oh my God, I'm officially in the rapper's world because my real name doesn't mean. So we drive in. And we're passing all of these reserved parking spaces. Reserve. And we get to my space, which is basically an orange cone that has Fluffy handwritten on it. And a bunch of other names crossed off. So Frankie moves the cone, I park the car. We walk into the building. My publicist is waiting for me, right? And she's like, Gabe, you made it. Frankie, how are you? Listen, I just finished talking to Snoop. Wow. He is everything you think he is and just a little bit more. He is so sweet. I cannot believe he was charged with double murder. He told me to just walk you guys into the studio and he'll be right back. He said he had to go outside and get in the right headspace or something. Okay, cool. So she walks us into Snoop's studio.
I'm thinking I'm there for a podcast. Come to find out, it's for a TV show. Snoop has a TV show where he interviews celebrities. Everyone in the room is waiting for Snoop to return. You can hear the small talk, you know. All of a sudden, everyone stands up. And I'm looking around like, what's going on? And I look at the door to see if Snoop's walking in, and I don't see him. And I could see my son. I don't realize it, but Snoop is entering the room through a different door. I don't realize it till like the last second. I'm like, what do you? So I jump up, I push in my chair. I'm so nervous, I don't know how to address him. So I'm like, I felt stupid. Snoop walks over to me, and he's so cool, you guys. He's so cool. He walks over to me and he grabs my hand. He's really strong. He pulls me in and he says, yo, what it do, baby boo? How you feel? Thank you for having me. Yeah. Can I sit down? For sure. I sit down, I look over, I see my son. My son's like... The difference between Snoop's show versus any other talk show I've ever done is that usually there's a person, like a producer or a director, who comes to you and gives you information, like how the show begins, topics you're gonna cover, how you go to commercial, how you come back from commercial. I've spoken to no one. Snoop just starts talking, and at some point they hit record. I'm waiting for action or a buzzer and something. Snoop just starts talking to me. Yo, what up, Big Fluff? Big Fluff? Oh, that's hey. Yo, you like music? Snoop, I love music. I love your music. Yeah, that's what's up. He opens up a laptop computer and then he hits play. And the next thing I know, we are listening to hardcore Mexican banda music. I mean hardcore. And you can hear gunshots in the song. And then a cow. And the whole time Snoop is like, I love it when he go moo. What? I feel like he's messing with me because I'm Mexican, right? So I called him out. I said, Snoop, do you understand what you're listening to? And he said this, and it scared me. He said, gangster recognize gangster. The reason why it scared me was because he was telling the truth. We were listening to actual Mexican cartel songs that don't play on the radio. And the fact that he knew that, the fact that his level of street knowledge in another language was that on point, I said, I gotta shut the hell up. Don't speak unless spoken to. That's the code. Next thing I know, Snoop reaches under the desk and he pulls out the biggest blunt I have ever seen. Oh, this sucker was huge. As soon as he pulled out that freaking blunt, I got excited because I wanted to grab my cell phone. Okay? I wanted to grab my cell phone so that I could take a selfie of Snoop in the background being Snoop. So while I'm fumbling, trying to get my phone, Snoop starts talking to me again. Yo, Big Fluff. Yeah, what? Hit that while I hit this. The second I went like that, all of the cameras in the room, red light, red light, red light, red light, red light. My publicist is like, no! My son is like, yeah! No, yeah, man. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I know I have a habit in my shows of sometimes throwing a little Spanish in there. If you don't understand Spanish, I do apologize, okay? I promise I will be translating. I don't want anybody freaking out or reporting me to the management with concerns or issues, you know.
What the hell is going on in there? What kind of show is this? No, somebody better hit the SAP button on that song real quick. I didn't pay good money to hear some Samoan speak Spanish.
I'm not Samoan, I'm fluffy. I didn't know why the guy thought I was Samoan, you know? And I've had this happen a couple times where people go, "Are you Hawaiian?" I'm like, no. No, not just a shirt. I thought it was just a shirt, but no, how could it just be a shirt? Just because you wear a freaking sombrero, that doesn't make you Mexican. I see white people Cinco de Mayo wearing a sarape, walking a donkey with a sombrero. You don't look at them and go, "Hola, amigo." No, you're like, "Hey, Ted. Hi." You know, and he's walking around, "Hola, come on, stupid donkey. Donkey, come on." I don't get it, man. I'm just trying to do my thing. But it's funny, though. I didn't know why the guy thought I was Hawaiian until I actually went to Hawaii. I found out that Hawaiian people actually look like swollen Mexicans. They do. I got off the plane. I looked around. I was like, "Oh, my God, my family." Even they were like, "Aloha, brother. Lo que le, malo, malo." Órale. I loved Hawaii. Hawaii was great, man. They have a lot of different cultures there. They have a lot of Asian people. A lot of Koreans. I know this because I got a couple of shirts tailored at some places, and every time I'd go in, it was always a Korean lady. An older Korean lady who was mean. I'd walk in, and this one lady always had a comment to make. I'm there for a week, and every day she had a different comment. I walk in one day, and I couldn't say anything either because she was 75 years old. I can't say nothing back, you know, but there I am. And it's funny because, you know, for me to relate to my son, it's a little challenging, you guys. And it's not that I can't relate to a teenager, because I can. I can relate to almost any age. You know, I got people that brought kids here tonight. The problem is that my son doesn't see me as an entertainer. He sees me as the guy that tells him to take a shower, put on deodorant, you know, stop picking your nose. That's me. His friends, on the other hand, I'm like a god to his friends. Every time I drop off Frankie at school now, I pull up, you know, the kids see my car. They freak out and they run over to it and they put their hands on it like it's a shrine. They touch the car like freaking, "Selena está aquí," you know? Some of you got that. Gracias. Anyway. Then the kids start shaking my car side to side, chanting, "Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy." And Frankie's in the front seat, pissed. He's pissed. He's like, "This is bull." I'm like, "Hey, dude, don't get mad at me because I'm more popular than you at your school." Little hater. He gets out of the car all mad. They're still chanting, "Fluffy, Fluffy." The thing is that our worlds are very different. His world revolves around Grand Theft Auto, the video game, YouTube, and girls. He's really good at 2 of those. The other one, not so much. And it's not that I'm trying to be a hater about it. It's just that I tell Frankie, "Listen, you need to start having more conversations. You need to become more talkative and interact like this." See, he'd rather text than talk. That's his whole thing. I'm like, "Dude, you gotta learn, you know, start to talk to me. I wish you would talk to me more." You could learn a lot about talking by talking to me. I'm just saying, I only do it professionally. But no, he'd rather text. It's at the point now where if I'm in the house and I yell, "Frankie, did you take out the trash?" Nothing. All of a sudden, cling. I take out my phone. No. But if I say, "I got money for you," freaking Houdini, right? "Oh, hello." Because you can't text cash. That's my big thing right now. I just want him to take out the trash. He's 16 years old now. He should have been doing this since he was 10, but, you know, better late than never. And what he does is he'll sit in the living room and he tunes out the rest of the house. He sits there and he'll put on these headphones that I got him for Christmas a couple of years ago. These Beats with the freaking studio button, and it cuts out all of the sound. They are so strong that when he starts watching his YouTube videos, he can't hear himself laugh. And for me, that is the funniest thing in the world. I'm in the other room and I can hear him. This is what I hear. I'm in the other room like, who brought the Germans? And so I walk out into the living room and I see Frankie and he's laughing at his phone and I gotta flag him down. I go, hey, hey, hey. And he'll take him off. What's up, Dad? I go, Frankie, can you do me a favor? Can you please take out the trash? Okay. And then he puts them back on. What? Now? I go, yes. Now? When you ask me for a ride, it's because you need a ride when you ask for it, right? Not later. Then he says, where are we going? Just take out the trash. And then he does it. He takes out the trash, but he acts like he's doing me the biggest favor in the world. And he stares me down and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like, and then I'll hold the bag over the can and he makes a sound. I'm like, dude, so much drama. It's crazy. I'd like to have normal conversations with him, but usually I got to take it that far for us to interact. You know, I look forward to conversations. Even if it's something small and minute, at least it gives me a chance to trigger another conversation with him. I look forward to a few things. I look forward to December, because in December, Frankie becomes very chatty. Otherwise, he's one-word kid. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, one-word kid. And you try to talk to him. Hey, how's your day? Good. You have any homework? Yeah. You gonna do it? Maybe. You hungry? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Food. Ah! Usually that's what I get. But December rolls around, and guess what December is? December is when he becomes very chatty because he has an agenda. All of a sudden, he goes from one-word kid to very like, hey, how's your week, Dad? You doing good? Yeah, how are the shows going? You doing all right? Do you need anything? You need anything? I'm like, I needed this in July, just saying. And I know it's fake, but at least, once again, it allows me to put my real conversation on top of his fake one. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
Oh my God.
A lot of things.
¿Eh?